Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast.
This pig came bottling.
Just ended up puking last night. It sucked.
Whoa! Ah! We gut it, we wrap it in tinfoil, throw it over the fire.
All right, everyone, this is Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast 71. This is our first ever annual team meeting. We had one earlier, but I don't know. I wouldn't call it our first one. And this one, we're supposed to have more guys here, but it didn't happen. So we got.
Yeah, well, the problem is you're gonna have to like incentivize it a little bit. Like we're gonna have to get some prizes or something. I think we're not getting we're gonna show up, but we need to get those people.
Yeah, agreed. Bribing them or something.
Something. Free food did not work.
No, free food wasn't the good. No,
maybe it's drinks next.
Yeah, maybe free beer.
Free beer. Yeah, because I said BYOB. I think
free beer.
That's it. But we got to do the beer. But anyway, I got Austin and Kyle here. And this podcast is mainly to talk about highlights of our 2023 year, hunting in total and stuff. We're going to talk about that. You can probably hear our kids upstairs playing in the background. You're just going to have to deal with the background noise. It is what it is. But I know, I'll start us out. I know this is our second go around. We were starting talking about Kyle's first ever archery kill. Texas hog hunting.
Texas hog hunting. Got my first archery kill. Felt really good. It was cool. Good experience, man. It's fun down there. Can't wait to go back for sure.
Yep, super excited about that. And then next thing, we had the shows between the hog hunt and then what I'm going to talk about, the bear hunt. But we had the Illinois show. Had a good time. Made some new friends. Really had a good time, and can't wait to do that again this year. But my favorite hunt of the year, that was my personal hunt, was the bear hunt we had. I killed my biggest bear to date. Bear we called Chubby Cheeks, and he ended up being right at around 300 pounds. Killed with my bow at 9 yards. The only issue I had with that hunt was hot.
Yeah,
that sucked. But other than that,
temperature and mosquitoes.
But other than that, it was I was happy how I filmed it and everything like that. Had a blast hunting it. Didn't run far. Yeah, and I just had a good time. And then Ray and Colton got a bear that trip too. And Ray, nothing against my brother Colton, I was happy he got one. But Ray is a duck hunter, pretty much primary. Like, he doesn't even hunt deer that much. I think he's killed a few deer. So that's to be cool. Like, one of his first big game animals is a big bear.
I thought that's what he said. It was his first big game animal.
It might have been. I thought he killed maybe a deer too, but maybe not. I'm not 100% sure.
Remember. You know what's really cool is like when we're all talking amongst each other, like you can almost see what people like. There's, I would say, would you call it their specialty?
Yeah.
It's like you know what they like to do.
Yeah, and Ray. I mean, he took me snow goose hunting for the first time a couple years ago, and that's, waterfowl's his baby, his thing. So it was fun to do. Had a blast. That was my favorite hunting moment in total. I know. And then when it comes to me, I'll fast forward to deer season. I'd say the coolest things. Number one, I know, and I'll let Austin talk about it more later on.
Do we want to go there?
I kind of want to go there. Austin and I had really two great hunts.
They were phenomenal.
Back-to-back hunts.
It was great for being early.
Yeah, mid-October.
What was it, like October 10th?
The October lull,
No.
Like, it's not supposed to be good.
No, I thought October was really great. I mean, for me this year, too. I'll get to that, too.
Yeah,
October was great this year.
Even though we had some peaks. And we had some valleys.
Yeah, we did.
I will say, honestly, though, like, for early hunting, it was probably one of my best years.
Yeah.
Did I shoot a whole lot of them? No, but like we had a lot of activity, and the 2 days, like you actually posted. Did you post both?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, back that was the vlog. Was those 2 days because we had so many deer.
Right. We had 20 deer in front of us.
Yeah, and I think the video is only like 12, 15 minutes, but like I had hours of footage of deer just out in front of us.
And
turkeys, yep.
Us missing.
And then it was kind of cool too. It was just funny. I think we switched shooters 3 times in the blind.
Like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That would have been just, I can imagine. Just like, hey, what? You shoot.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Yep.
You shoot.
Yep.
Hey, okay.
Yep, it was back and forth. It was fun though.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah. So that was those are like some of my favorite hunts this year. And then the other thing to end the season, I had a fun time getting one of my coworkers out for the first time. New deer hunter. Unfortunately, he did have missed one, and then it worked out for me. I shot the doe then when he missed, but it was good. Like for the deer season, just getting him out and getting him started into hunting, and I'm sure I'll have him out next year too to get him into it. It was McCabe, so had him out there. But that's kind of like, I'd say, like some of the highlights. And then one thing, and before I'll let one of you guys take over, like it was also, this is the first year where like I actually kind of had a requirement where my team members need to film, and for the most part everybody filmed or was a part of a video, and I was happy with all the content we had. I forget how many vlogs we had this year. See, they're done now. Let's see, we had 18 vlogs this year. Yeah. So I think last year we had 10. So we had
much
8.
Better.
Yeah, we had 8 more than, and there were weekly vlogs. Most of them had a kill, or at least some action in it.
Yeah.
There was very little lulls. So yeah, I was pretty happy with the total vlogs this year. But whoever wants to go next.
Oh, do you want to? I don't know if you thought about this. Is there any like low point or like one thing maybe this season to like hit you, like, oh man, I wish or I would have done that you learned from? Or
so one thing, and I actually talked to him. He was here earlier today. I actually talked to him about. I really wish Steve got his big buck on camera.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, which he, he's new to the filming aspect, and it just happened so quick. He didn't have it turned on.
Yeah, but that thing was a stud.
It was a stud.
Okay.
He won our biggest buck contest,
yep.
so congratulations to Steve. We did a little team contest. He won. Yeah, it was a stud buck, his biggest buck of his life, and he's like ancient. It's like Steve's like 100 years old or something like that. So
well, he just like nonchalantly said, "Got one, boys."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, whoa."
Yeah, and he and honestly, nothing against him. He usually shoots like some like the first buck that walks by a lot of times.
Yeah, you're definitely not looking for antlers, looking for meat.
Yeah, and then he shows that 148 inches,
something like
It was
that.
like
Score?
right at 150. I thought he said.
Yeah, it was just shy.
I know it was
just shy.
I remember being in the 40s, but yeah, it was just shy of 150.
Yeah. So I know it's getting mounted. So I know I'm excited to hear from him on that. So yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited about that. I'm trying to think of other lows.
I don't know, like personally, you had anything?
Oh,
They
well,
were like, maybe you're like, man, I wish I would have done this, or maybe you learned from or something, or just.
Well, actually, I did forget. It was a low and a high all in the same time. So I did not practice as much as I should have this off season. Actually, out of all my years of archery, like going into the season, this is probably the year I had the least amount of practice. And which is why we were kind of in that situation that day. We switched 3 times because like at first I didn't know if I wanted to shoot the buck, and then I was like, okay, maybe I do, and then it was going to be too far from me, which normally it wouldn't be, but I just had switched new arrows. I hadn't shot that far, all that stuff. What just happened? I feel like we just had an audio change. Maybe not.
I just adjusted my mic.
Okay, yeah, it was way better.
It was like a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Like I was hearing a little static, so I
Yeah.
just adjusted it
There
down
we
a
go.
little.
Yeah, good now. But anyway, but I had a doe come out November 2nd or 3rd, and I gut shot her. So we got low. I haven't gut shot a deer in a long time. I have in the past, but it's been a long time.
I mean, that's always though. It's
Yeah,
always horrible.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I gut shoot her, and I knew right away, shit, it's guts. She's out there at 58 yards through brush, and I would never take that shot with a bow.
And you hammered it.
I hammered her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, you're taking the follow up. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
try and put another arrow on her.
Yeah, I would.
Quartering away.
Yeah, I mean hard too. Like, and so that was where I was like, went from low to like, holy shit, I pulled it off.
Yeah.
So, and she was dead that night. I backed out just in case, but when we found her the next day, she was dead that night. You could definitely tell. So that would. This year I plan on taking the time more and shooting more and have
Just
everything
getting
set
dialed
up
in a little more.
Which, part of that is I'm going to try to recurve hunt a little bit this year. This year. So I got everything set up right there. The recurves behind the camera right now. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that was about it. When it comes to editing and filming on my end, I was happy with everything. Other than that, I want to do some more farm management here, kind of get the property a little bit more. But other than that, that's about it. So
I think a lot what's going to be coming up and going forward, especially, I think it's almost like a new avenue is the farm management. Of course, like with your farm here, what we're going to be doing with my new property, it's going to be, it'll be fun.
100%. And then kind of, you can go then, Kyle. I know it's kind of cool to see you hunt new properties this year, because you almost every property you hunted was newer.
Everyone was, yes.
Yeah.
I'd never hunted any other properties this year for deer. But for for the year, we had a great hog hunt last beginning of the year. Got my first bow kill, which was really nice because I struggled. The year before, I had an arm injury, and I only got a bow hunt the very end of the season, and I just didn't have any opportunity. And the year before that was the first year I bow hunted with my compound, and I just never got a shot. I was really close pulling back a couple times with that, but never got a shot. So I was glad to get that monkey off your back, because, it weighs on you a little bit. You're like, especially because I've never done it. So you're like, how hard is it going to be? Am I going to target your panic real bad in the moment and stuff like that? So it was nice to do that. And then I followed up with going on the bear hunt, which was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I was the only one that didn't even see a bear in the spring hunt. But luckily...
Don't worry. I didn't see one on the fall.
Luckily, though, you're allowed to go back. The tag is still good for the fall. So I went back to the fall, and I only had to hunt 2 days, and I got my bear. So I was super happy about that. It was great. So I was really pumped with that. That was a big highlight of the year. And then deer season started, and we had got, like Cody said, I'm hunting 2 new properties at the start of the year. So we got the lease I got with Cody, and then I got access back to the family farm, my grandma's place, that she had rented out to other people before in the past, but now we get to hunt it. So spent a lot of time preseason getting ready out there, putting trail cameras up, getting intel and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. It was the first time I actually got to do that, like on a brand new property and all that. So I really, really enjoyed that, getting the picture and all that. So that was really fun. But so was it early October? I think we went to our lease, and I almost got my first deer with a bow that night.
The night I killed one.
Cody shot his doe in the field and scared one over to me. And I was filming the opposite direction of another deer. So trying to adjust, get the camera on the deer and get a shot. It ran away before I got a shot on it, which sucked. Because it stopped right in front of me, probably 20 yards. And if I wasn't trying to film, I'd just draw my bow back and shot it. But I was like trying to get the camera out and all that, so didn't get it. But then shortly thereafter, I started going back. And then we saw a lot of deer there because it's a nice alfalfa field. Yeah. So they were there early season quite a bit. Yep. So I went like a Sunday night, and I probably saw, I don't know, I think like 18 deer or something like that. So I was able to like kind of pat around them. I'm like, oh, well, they're all going back in the woods in the exact same spot. So I'm like, I got to come back here tomorrow night because like the conditions were going to be exactly the same.
Well, was that the same time we were hunting when we had all the action?
It might have been.
I thought it was like the same day.
It was in the October, like early October.
Were you in Tazewell?
Yeah. Yeah, so it was the same time. So the deer were
Mm-hmm.
definitely moving that day. Conditions were good. So I went back that Monday after that Sunday, and I was talking to Cody about it because I'm like, we didn't have any stand close to where the deer went into the woods. Like a lot of them came out the same spot and went back in the same spot. And there were 18 deer, so I'm like, oh, I need to get close to that spot. So I was like, you know what? And I didn't have a saddle yet. I got one later this season, but I was like, all right, I'm just going to go put on my leafy suit, and I'm going to go sit in the grass, hopefully, and hopefully I'll get one to come out. So I went there, drove over there after work, went and sat in the grass, and just found this, like, hole in the ground and this, like, tall grass.
Pretty nifty, actually.
Dude, it was, man. It was, like, strange. It looked like, it definitely, I would say it was probably man-made for something. It didn't look like a natural little hole, but I would say it was probably, like, 2 feet by 2 feet, and it just dipped down in there, and there was tall grass all around it. So I did that, and then I just sat there, and I was looking the direction that I thought they were to come out to where my wind was going behind me. And I'm sitting there watching that, thinking like that's where they came out, and I just happened to like turn all the way around, and right behind me there's a deer just standing there. So he comes out, I think I'm screwed, I think I'm busted, so I freeze, and he comes out, and I actually he comes around me, he doesn't win me, and I get a shot on it, and unfortunately I didn't get a great camera angle on it, but I got kind of like
I don't know how you would have though.
Yeah, it would have been hard, but yeah, then I ended up got my first deer with a bow, and it was a buck on the ground.
On the ground,
it was
frontal.
super close, 20 yards. Frontal shot. And I give credit to the Born and Raised guys, because really I've learned a lot about frontal shots from them on elk, because they do that a lot. So I kind of learned where to aim from that, and then dude, it was perfect. Like frontal shot came out back right behind that opposite leg, right through the heart and the lungs there. So I was super happy, man. So that was probably I was really pumped on that, man. I was super excited. So that was probably my high point of the year. Followed up after that, it was literally the next time I went hunting. So that was a Monday. I think I went out that Saturday or Sunday after that.
Yep.
And then at like 10 minutes after legal light, I get 3 does walk in front of me, and I get the mama doe.
which my favorite part of that video, you don't get me wrong, but I was happy you killed one. My favorite part is when you see your arrow, your knock fall off your string. You can see the panic. Ah, crap! Like,
yeah,
gotta
man.
fix this. Like, crack me up.
Yeah, I got a new release this year. I got one of those True Fires with like the open hook, which I shot. It shoots way faster than my other one did. My other one was just like a pinch, like a crab claw thing. And this one shoots way faster, man. I like it a lot. But I put it on my bow and my D loop, and I went to draw back, and it just opened up like just immediately as I started pulling back. So I didn't like pull back very far, but as soon as then the arrow moved forward like 3 inches, so it came off of my bow, and the doe's standing broadside 10 yards in front of me, just standing there, not even moving. I'm like, she's right in the camera angle. I'm like, this is gonna be beautiful.
Yep.
And then, as soon as that happens, I'm panicking, and she runs off 20 yards. I merped at her to stop her and got her to stop. Then I shot her quartering away, like, I don't know, 25 yards, 20 yards, and she ran 30 and died. So I was pretty much on cloud 9 then. So I was like, doing good. And the first one was at the lease, and the second one was at my grandma's place. So that was the first deer I killed out of there. So I was super pumped. But then I had a rough season the rest of the year. I was chasing a pretty nice buck that I kept getting on camera, but hadn't seen in daylight. I did see it in daylight 2 days. So before you get there,
talk about a low point.
Yeah, but before you get there, so it was. I think it was first week of October. It was not first week of November. Maybe like the last like Halloween or something like that. I took like a Thursday, Friday off work because I knew the conditions were going to be good, and I went and hunt, and I didn't see anything. My morning set, so I kind of wanted to walk around a little bit since I had the whole day off, and I actually bumped this buck out of his bed at like noon. So I found his bed, so I'm like, well, shit. He didn't see me, but he probably heard me. I know he didn't win me, but he took off. So I'm like, all right, well, I got eyes on him. I know where his bed is, so I tried to like hunt that better, but didn't work out for that. So I just kept going back to my other spot where I shot that doe, and then it was like I think maybe second week of November. It was like maybe in the 10th or something like that. I know we had like really good weather. Yeah. And so I'm hunting there in the morning. I don't remember what I did the night before or something, but I get up and I forgot to fill up my water bottle. And if I had water back in the shed, it's not that far. It's like 2-minute walk from my blind. So I'm like, all right. I was like, 8:30. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get down. I got a shit, so I'm going to take a shit. I'm going to go get my water. I'm going to get right back in the tree. I'll be back in the tree by like 9:10. So I get down, go over to my log that I sit on to take a shit. I take a shit. I'm done. I start wiping, and I look up. I hear some leaves rustling up to my right, probably like 15 yards away from me, and the big-ass buck is just standing there staring at me. Granted, I got my bow, and I got an arrow on it, because I'm like, all right, if a deer comes on me, I want to have it so I can grab it.
Yeah.
But he just stares at me, and my pants are down, and my bow's in reach, but I got my pants are down, and I'm wiping. So I'm like, well, shit. All right. So I'm like sitting there just looking at it, and he just freezes. He's staring at me. It's not like he doesn't see me. Yeah. He's looking right at me. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm like, I can't move. So I just wait.
Literally all shit.
And then, literally. All shit, man. Just bunch of shit. And then so So literally, I just don't move. I freeze. Maybe maybe he put his head down and anything. He just turns around and runs away in like 2 seconds. So I grab my bow and then he's gone.
Did he win you this time?
No, he didn't win me,
I
man.
guarantee you smell it.
No, he did not win me.
Listen,
He
we're,
saw
we're
me.
sponsored by RackGetters. We love RackGetters. There ain't enough RackGetters in the world probably to cover up that smell.
They
yet.
might have. I don't know.
So,
But I don't know
So,
though.
were
But he
you-
came
were-
there after the shit.
But you
The
went
shit
back-
didn't scare him away. I shit before I saw him, so it was on the ground.
Did
So
you-
if anything, it attracted him. Maybe.
did you go back to the barn, or were you still out there?
No, I was still out there.
Oh my
I think I said fuck the water. So I was like, oh, just pissed now. So I was like, ah, shit. Wait, no. I don't remember if I did or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was pissed. So, he ran away.
That was the best text.
I
was the best
had
text,
to
man.
share it with everybody because it's hilarious. I mean, it happened to me. It sucks, but
Yeah.
dude, it's pretty funny. But that was, it worked out but it made me feel good. Like I picked the spot. He walked right by me. If I had been in the blind, I'd had a 20-yard shot broadside. He would have never knew I was up there. Just happened the cards were dealt the way they were dealt, and I was on the ground taking a shit when he walked by. So I guess in that lesson, it's just better to shit your pants and shoot the big buck.
Yep. That's the low point of the season there.
That was my low point.
Yeah.
That was a low point, but it was compounded by another low point because come around gun season now, I didn't really see any more deer I seen deer the rest of the season, November and stuff like that, but nothing in range. So come gun season, I kind of was seeing where the deer were moving, so I kind of moved closer to where I thought they were coming. I think it was the first Saturday of shotgun season, and it was probably like 4:15, and I see a deer coming. I pull my nose and it's the same big buck again. So I'm sitting there like ranging him just to make sure. And I don't know if that's just out of habit because he's clearly within 50 yards, so I didn't need to range him for my shotgun. But I don't know if it's just out of bow habit that I'm getting used to. So I range him real fast. Well, first I pull up my binos, see what kind of deer it was. So he's moving then I pull up the rangefinder. I'm like, all right, he's like 40 something yards. And by the time I get my gun up and try to stop him, I get him stopped, but then he's behind a bunch of brush and trees, but he's not moving. But I don't have any more shots to the right, and he's walking right. So I thought I'd find a window, and I pulled the trigger, and I missed, which sucked.
Yeah.
He was, like I said, 40 yards with my shotgun. Should have had him. It was my fault. It was my fault. I should have, and a lot of people say that, like, you have more time than you think. And I rushed it. And I think if I just would have taken maybe 10 more seconds, I think I'd have got him.
Yep.
But all in all, though, it had a great season, though. It was fun. Saw some more deer, and then towards the end of the season, I went and hunted a new property, my aunt and uncle's, down in southern Fulton County. Well, actually, Schuyler County, so just past Fulton County. And I saw a lot of deer down there. Hunted down there. It was all snowy, late season. Hunted down there with my bow. Had some good encounters with some deer. Saw some good buck sign and stuff like that. So I'm excited to go back there this year.
The full season.
Yeah, the full season. Try and figure it out. Put some cameras down there and get that work out. But I had a great year though, man.
Yep.
I really had a good time, man, and I really had a lot of joy hunting. More than probably have ever in a year.
Good deal. Austin, what's your 2023 highlights? Or highlights and
Or
low
lowlights.
Yeah.
Low lights.
Yeah, like shitting when a buck comes by. That's an example of a low light.
Yeah,
like-
definition.
Even the lows this year weren't that bad. I mean, we had, I would say, maybe two, I'd say, lows. One of them was, I would say, inadequate preparation. Or was it mechanical? I don't know. Cody can elaborate on this. Kind of tell him the backstory.
Yeah, so that buck that we were talking about a little bit more.
It was on those good days.
Yeah, it was on the really good days. It was the second day, and the plan was I had already killed a doe, and it is the October lull. Didn't really expect to see a shooter buck, but I knew the spot we had was a lot of does. So that's why Austin was with me, and the kind of agreement we had, like, hey, if shooter buck comes out, I plan on shooting it. But I think it's going to be mainly does. Austin's up to bat. And the day before, we saw a crap ton of does, some small bucks, and then turkeys.
That's what I was wanting, because
Yeah.
I dang near out of meat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So anyway, we're hunting the ground blind, and sure enough, here comes this doe patrol, and they just weren't coming in bow range. They kept getting closer. We're just staying out of it. All of a sudden, I remember Austin goes, "Hey, big buck," and a very solid deer comes out. And right at first, I was like, "Yep, I want to shoot him." As he starts walking towards us, if I remember right, as he was walking towards us, I'm like, "No, Austin, you can shoot," because I didn't think he was as big as what I thought. As he got closer, I'm like, "No, never mind." He's like never mind.
Well, at first I was like, I don't know, and then it's like, you know, he's a solid deer.
Oh, solid deer.
Yeah.
His body was big. The more especially when I put it on my laptop when I was editing it and stuff. As he's coming closer, I'm like, okay, no, I will shoot him. And then he was walking a straight line. I kept ranging it, and it's going to be 47 yards.
47.
Yep. And
I remember the 47.
Yep. And I had told myself beforehand nothing past 35 from me because I had only shot my bow up to 35 with these new broadheads and stuff and new arrows. And normally I would be fine with that shot, but not this year. So I knew Austin had been shooting good, and I'm like, let's go. Let's switch again. Austin, you be the shooter, which he actually ended up coming to 42 yards when we ranged it. And we at first thought maybe you had your bow wrong at 52 yards because he shot high, or not even it was high. Left and right was perfect though, which we found out the next day when you shot what the issue was.
My bow was shooting 18 inches high.
Yeah, with newer broadheads, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I ended up, we made that. So last year we went, how long ago was it?
2 years ago.
2 years ago we went elk hunting.
Yeah.
We were on this whole fixed blade kick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a lot of failures with fixed blades.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting bones.
Mm-hmm. See, I didn't have that. This is my first year going back to expandables just because I thought I should try something new, which worked fine. But
I figured I would try to go back. I shot Schwacker, I shot Rage, but I went to the old original Muzzies, MX3s. Well, I was shooting fine with MX3s.
Mm-hmm.
So I switched, I had MX4s, put those on, and I didn't realize it
would fly so different.
Right.
Different. Mm-hmm. And just being very honest, I mean, it was a terrible mistake. I should have tried messing with what wasn't broken.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So I was like, I feel comfortable shooting that far. I shoot my bow every day. I probably shoot my bow 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, up to 60, 70 yards.
Well, I've shot plenty with you at 50 yards and farther, and I'm like, I told you after. As that buck's coming, I thought I was looking at a dead deer. Like, Austin's gonna smoke him. Like, I had 100% confidence.
Well, and this is like when we were talking in this blind. We're in a blind big enough to where we could stand up. Mm-hmm. We were joking about this. I'm like, hey, we were going through all the mechanics. I would say, hey, one more step, its head's gonna be down. Or we gotta let it clear this branch. Like, no, I don't feel comfortable taking it right now. Like we were.
That little buck kept fucking with the big buck. Yeah.
And he kept chasing him off. And I was cool, calm, collected. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna shoot it right now. So pulled back, stopped it, and I mean, just squeezed it off like any other time.
Yeah.
Let it go. What? Close to 2 feet over its back.
Yeah.
I looked at it, and Cody looked at it. I don't know what. I mean, it's probably not like.
We're Austin. Did you look at Cody and just go, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah, I remember looking at like that wasn't even close.
Well, I'm like, I didn't even say nothing.
Because I'm sure you're expecting like the arrow to like go through the deer, and you're just like,
well.
They didn't go through the deer. What?
No, it's like Cody watched me pull back. Like I anchored.
Yeah.
I took my time. I was pulled back for a minute.
Yeah.
Squeezed it off. I did too.
It was so high.
You know.
That buck was more spooked looking away from us. Like, what was that behind him?
And, you know, like hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of arrows shot over the summer. And then it boils down to, I just missed this buck.
Yeah.
42 yards, you know? But we both looked at my bow like I have a thick or adjustable sight.
dial
single
sight,
pin
yeah.
spot hog.
That's what I thought you did right away.
and
Yeah, you just thought
looked
you had
at
your
it,
wrong
I'm like,
yardage.
Well, that's not right.
Yep.
So, and Cody's like, well, I thought that deer was dead. And as
Yeah.
he was still standing out in the field.
Yeah. It was like he only ran like probably out there to 80 yards and just like, what was that? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we laughed. We laughed about it. I mean,
Yeah.
what else can you do?
Yeah.
Wait,
Did
that
you
was
ever
like-
see that deer again?
I did not. I had him on trail camera,
Oh,
but not for a while now. So I don't know if he made it for the gun
so
season.
I would say that was one of the low points. I would say right after that, about the next weekend, I shot a doe. It was quartering to me. I was going to hug that.
Different
shoe.
broadheads, right?
Yeah, no, we used different broadheads.
Yeah,
Did you? Did you?
Well, I went back to expandables. I ended up shooting expandables. Just it's a lot of this archery game is all in your head. That's all it is.
You gotta be confident in your
You
equipment.
got to be confident in your
Yeah.
equipment. I caught the front of a shoulder on a doe. It didn't die either. So at this point, we're
Oh no.
3 weeks into October, and I am like down. So we go out a couple weeks later, and I end up just shooting a doe. I mean, trying to fill the freezer at this point. I probably passed up, 30, 40, 50 deer. At
I
this
know
point.
you were hunting a big one.
Yeah, so we've been watching this one for 4 to 5 years, or 4 years. 4 years, I would say, down on my father-in-law's property. And, we're all trying to go after that one. And we had numerous pictures over the years, and we had one close encounter with him already this year. It was looking really good. He was still on the property. Well, just like anything, that rat hits and you don't know where they're going to go. The neighbor ended up killing it.
Oh,
And he was
dang.
I was gonna ask you, do you know what happened? Or
Dang.
Yep, the neighbor ended up killing it. Well, congrats to him.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a nice buck.
Yeah, it was
and,
solid.
And just like, that's the part of it. Like,
Oh, yeah, man.
and, so, no, it was, after that is kind of like, now what? Right? But it's amazing. Like, after one of those dominant bucks dies, or it gets taken out of the gene pool, all these new deer show
That's
up,
yep.
and it's like they know.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna get beat up.
Yeah.
So,
This year I had bucks I've never seen before on this farm after I killed
Right.
that big one last year.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. Like just seeing like like that right there is a learning experience. But I was very thankful from the whitetail season. But also we went to Canada. That was a first. Kyle killed his in the spring. We went up in the fall
No,
because
I killed mine in the spring.
Yeah.
You killed his.
Oh,
I
yeah.
killed
You
mine
killed
a couple
you
days
killed-
before you got there.
Yeah, a couple days before I got there.
Yeah.
So that's right. I was getting all these stuff, but I unfortunately couldn't go in the spring because of work. But ended up.
Tell you what, the fall was far better, weather and
Weather-wise,
bug wise, man.
And bugs.
Dude, you have no idea. I've never been around that many mosquitoes in my life.
Which it was worse this last spring than it's ever been.
Your dad says never been that bad. So
Which
No,
I
but
it was so hot though.
I'll tell you what though, like out of all the trips we've done to Colorado, all the whitetail trip, I mean, I would say that Canada trip was probably by far the most fun I've ever had.
And you guys didn't have a lot of activity either.
No,
so
we didn't.
let alone.
Like, when we were heading up the first night we got there, they had a couple bears down, and I was like, "Heck yeah!"
Yeah, I
well,
thought
then
it
it just
was
like
pretty
what?
good.
It just
Shut
shut off. I mean, and
yeah, I
that's
don't know
what's-
what was going on this fall up there.
Well, it's
never been that way
No,
before.
and just what they were saying was that all the bears, like they have all the berries and stuff to feed on. Besides,
Yeah, I think they were talking about that. Just being like in the country, we had a lot of mass crop this year, and I think that was the case up there, perhaps.
but I'll tell you what though, we did not go hungry. It was.
Oh yeah, dude, we eat good up there.
Yeah.
It's not a one you lose weight on. No.
It was, just the scenery, the camaraderie at the camp was, I would say, just as fulfilling as killing a big buck. And not only just that trip alone, like this whole TBLO like group this year.
Yeah,
It was
fun.
like
It was
not
good. It was
only
a
just
fun
like the
time.
group chats like that we're always a part of, but just like hunting together and stuff. It was just a great time.
Yep.
We went through the peaks and valleys, of course. Unfortunately, I did not kill what I wanted this year. I was very thankful that we got to put some meat in the freezer with the doe.
Yep.
I'm always thankful for that. But Then we transitioned into duck season, and that's honestly like that's my true calling. So we're duck and goose hunting. Duck season just finished up, but I'm goose hunting hot and heavy now. It's.
Yep. No, that's I know. Yeah, I'm as a brand. I'm happy with this season, and I think, and I really looking forward to this year because looking at this year, we got hog hunt, we got bear hunt. Obviously, we have our whitetail and turkeys,
and 2025.
Maybe we'll keep that.
We'll keep it on
the DL for now.
Yeah, under wraps for.
We're working on something.
The hunt's secured.
Yeah, we're working on something right now. It'll be really cool if we do this.
This is a hunt of a lifetime.
Yeah. So we'll definitely, if we get to do that, we'll come back on and talk more about it. But yeah, no, really excited for this next year. You guys have anything to add before we end this up?
No, I think just like any small goals for next year is I'm still hopefully, which I haven't seen the buck that I missed, and I haven't got any pictures of him, so he might be dead. But I'm hoping to maybe get a picture of him or something, or find his sheds this spring, or find another big buck to chase. I really enjoyed that this year. It was the first time I actually got to chase like a mature older buck. And I did all the work, and it paid off. I just happened to not be in the right spot at the right time. So I look forward to that next year, and that chase again, even if it's on a different property or something like that. So that'd be my goal for next year. Try to do that.
Other than get a bear this year, what's your?
We're getting a bear.
Yeah. Other than that,
I think they're going for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When are we going?
In
May.
Yeah. So we're going up there for a week.
Yep, approximately.
Yeah, it's usually around Memorial weekend.
Or Victoria Day is what they call it up there, right? Because they have their own thing.
I don't know what the hell they call it.
I don't know. Queen's Day, I don't know.
Queen's Day.
Well, it's to be King's Day now, right?
Yeah.
It could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to
Bunch
that.
of scooters.
That's the next, I'd say, travel trip.
Yeah.
Yep.
But other than that, we're just gonna keep plugging away day by day. I think it's in the off season. I know you had talked about getting a lot of your merchandise back up and running, or stocked up, is what I would say. You had a lot of good sales.
Yeah. The shows were great, and well, to end it, talk about we're going to be in 2 shows this year. First weekend in March in Iowa, and come to the Iowa Deer Classic. We'll be there. And then the second weekend in March, we're going to be at the Illinois in Peoria, Illinois, at the Illinois Deer Classic. And then later on in August, we'll be in Bloomington for the Illinois Deer and Beer Fest. So those are the 3 we plan on doing this year so far. Don't know if we'll pick up any more, but come see us. I know we're going to have some of our sponsors going to be there at a couple of the booths with us at the shows. So check them out too, and really excited.
It's just awesome though to see. This is my 3rd consecutive year on this podcast, and being a part of just seeing you started this. When was this?
2020. We're about to hit 4 years in March.
So and just the amount of followers, the content, just from last year until this year, you've done
that was the big jump. This last year was the biggest jump.
I think the shows helped a lot.
Yep.
So I just think it's going to be fun once. Especially with us going on these upcoming trips, and then the team members finally getting in their groove.
Yep,
it's going to be really, really fun over that. Just to see the page grow, and then eventually we're going to get to this point where it's just going to go boom.
That's the plan. That's the plan anyway. That's the plan. All right, guys, we'll end it. Again, this is podcast 71. We've been doing a really good. This is like the 4th or 5th podcast in a row now. Doing good this year. I'm going to try to keep that train rolling. Hope you guys enjoying the podcast and all the content we're putting out here lately. We're going to go see what the kids are fighting about. All right, see you guys. Bye.